All right. Okay, we've got comments already. Hey, Elspeth, how you doing? What is going on? I don't want these here, really. Okay. We're a few minutes early. I usually don't get started until 8:30, but I was like, let me just get started instead of sitting here. You're okay? Finish closing work? Right on. Alright, so I've got this stack of black and stainless strands of Byzantine. They are going to go on this cube. See if I can get this to focus. Come on. You want to focus? There we go. Alright, so strands of 70 rings worth of blackened stainless steel. Right? About, what are they? 3 inches. And I need 380 of them. Right now I have 50. So I need to make 330 more. Starting on some fine Byzantine today. Right on. For anybody watching, I am live on X, Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok. TikTok's over here. All the rest are over here on my computer. One day I will have everything over my computer, so I'm not doing this whole thing, but that day is not today. So, let's get these attached. I'm adding the Byzantine to the rings of SandWyrm. This is what we're working on. This is a cube. This is a chainmail jelly cube, right? And the weave used to make it is called Japanese 4-in-1. That is essentially what I'm making here. Just I'm using small rings to make big rings, and then weaving the big rings into a cube, right? So, and for anyone who's new, my name's Sean. I run mailworks.com. I design and sell chainmail themed apparel and accessories, as well as make chainmail. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. So, all right. See if we can add. I think we need 6 more on the horizontal rings, and then we need 48 for the vertical ones. So, we're just going to start. I've got 20 strands of Byzantine here. We're just going to start adding them. Thank you for the hearts. Is Japanese 4-in-1 related to helm weave? Red Dragoness. No. I mean, they're related insofar as they are chainmail weaves made of rings, but outside of that, no, not really. Helm's a cool weave. You can take Helm and make Celtic Vision with it. It does not translate well into designs for 3D prints, though. I can tell you that much. Alright, am I doing this the right way? I hope so. Putting these on is a pain in the tuchus. What do I do with what I make? Okay, so this project is specifically going to a, hopefully, it will be one of many chainmail sculptures that will go to a gallery. And I live in between Milwaukee and Chicago, and somewhere in there is a metal gallery, a metal arts gallery. I also have Lake Geneva, where a lot of ritzy, fashionable people come and vacation. So I want to make about 10 to 15 sculptures, and put them on display in a gallery, and hopefully sell them for a lot of money. Ideally. So I do make other stuff. Like right now I currently have a bunch of bracelets for sale, and these are a lot of old personal projects. Yeah, you're back on this project. Yes, I am. I'm done with the Finnegan's Wake inlay, and I am back on this project. Cool. They look similar to your newbie eyes. Just got a helm weave kit and was hoping it would teach me fundamentals for a jelly cube. No, not really, because helm uses 2 different ring sizes. Right? And so you can use 2 different ring sizes to make Japanese 4-in-1, but you're not going to get a jelly cube effect from it. All right. Magenta, how you doing? So that is my goal with this particular project. I just finished up an inlay, and it has 33 or 35,000 rings in it. It was a huge project, and it took me forever. And yeah, it ended up being a personal project. I originally started it to give it to the bar that it was originally intended for. Finnegan's Wake was a bar in Alexandria, Louisiana that I frequented while I was stationed at Fort Polk. But that bar has since closed, and I'm trying to go through all of my basement projects and finish up all the old projects that have been sitting around for forever. And I'm getting there, one by one. I need a spear, and I want like a functional spear, right? So I'm struggling to find one that I like. Come on, there you go. I need a spear and some Celtic-themed wall hooks to match the inlay, because it's got like some, well, it looks like this. Right? For anyone who hasn't seen it, except it's chainmail and the background is green. And the letters are silver. Trying to think of fundamentals for a jelly cube. Like, Japanese 4-in-1 is not hard in and of itself. And a cube, right? A cube is just, you make a layer of Japanese 4-in-1, and then the next layer that you're building on top of it is just offset from the initial layer. And then you just keep offsetting it layer by layer as you build it up. So, everybody on Twitch, if you're hanging out, yeah. You've just started on your second chainmail project of the week today? Right on. What are you making? Is it the okay, you said the fine Byzantine. I gotcha. Come on. There we go. But with helm, I'd say it's pretty completely different than Japanese 4-in-1. There are like relationship dynamics in between different weaves. Like there are themes. There are the Persian category of weaves. There's the European category, the Japanese category, and this is all something that has been broken down and kind of libraried by the computer or by the community, right? All right, did some research and thinking about doing king scale. Right on, that'll be awesome. Next week to learn some of the Japanese weaves. Yeah, Japanese, like Japanese 4-in-1. If you use 1 ring size, it's really nice. Yeah, you can make it work with 2 ring sizes, but Japanese 6-in-1 looks really good with 2 ring sizes. See if I can grab an example here in a sec. I have one like 2. Whoa, wow. That went somewhere. What are my pajamas doing down here? Oh, I got a hole in them. I need to sew them up. Oh my god, that is so cool. Is it Keely? Thank you. Also like how helm chain would look. Helm chain in a sheet weave would look pretty cool. For some mud flaps. Any sheet weave, honestly, as chainmail mud flaps would be pretty cool. All right. Would you like to cooperate with me, Ring? Come on. Keely, how are you doing tonight? Oh, thinking for the bumper? Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. It would, it would. Alright, come on. So, alright. That is 12, so I'll have 36 strands of Byzantine on this horizontal row, and then the vertical rings here, it's going to take 48 strands. So I got a long way to go before I can even start building upwards on this thing. I'll adjust this. Four and one for mud flaps because you're sure you need to repair from time to time, and simpler is better. Yeah, I got you there. Okay, now we do this corner. So, Elspeth is learning some weaves. What's everybody else up to tonight? How's your day? How's your Friday? You ready for the weekend? You ready for excuse me. You ready for July 4th? You got your fireworks yet? I say we. My wife got a little thing of fireworks for the kids. My son was going to go and hang out with his grandma. He usually used to go to the fireworks with his grandma, his aunt, and his cousin, and his grandpa. Right? Grandpa, grandma, aunt, cousin. But as his cousins got older, he's turned into a turd. He's a teenager now, and he's about a foot taller than my son. And, like, you know, his mom's divorced. His stepmom does not like him, right? And I genuinely feel bad for my nephew, but also, like, don't be mean to my kid, you know? And that's kind of what happens every time he goes over there. So he didn't want to go over there this year. It's like, yeah, that's fine. Not going to put you in a situation you don't want to be in, you know what I mean? So we bought him some fireworks to light off at home, and should be fun. Yeah. It's like, so I've got July 4th, and then I've got my birthday, and then 2 weeks later my kid's birthday, and then school starts back up. So this summer's going by quick. All right, that's one. Did I change? I added a nickname. My nickname on TikTok is Combat Crochet, and just because I think it's funny. Yeah, I've got a shirt in my store that says, if I'm not making real chainmail, what is it then? Combat Crochet? So, I don't know. It goes away in like a week or something. There is a crochet artist, a crocheter, and he goes by Brochet, and he'll crochet these like weapons, like he'll crochet a sword, and then he'll slash at one of his friends, and then they'll use yarn as blood, and it's really funny. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate you. You'll be sure to CC me. I see what you did there. You're working the 4th and most of the weekend. Your main focus right now is prep for Pensick. Right on. Yeah, priorities, man. Priorities for sure. My main focus is adjusting 27,000 black and stainless rings that are all out of round. That's what I'm going to be doing for the next month. So that's 100% not awesome at all. It's actually really irritating, but it is what it is. And unless I want to spend $2,700 to get the titanium rings in this size to do this, I'm stuck with adjusting each individual ring, which is, these are the out of round rings, and this is my pile of closed rings that I've adjusted so they're smooth. That was fuller, but I made the strands of Byzantine today, so I was like, let's just throw them on here. Thank you for the share, I appreciate it. And it's one of those things, it's like all the rings are out of round, and I'm just going to have to grind through the whole, like, to give you an example of what 27,000 rings looks like, this is 23,000 rings, roughly. If I subtract what I've put together from what I ordered initially, right? So that is, it's all rings in there. There's nothing, like, I didn't stuff the bottom of this can and put a bunch of rings on top just to make it look like I had more rings. This is full of rings. This is full of rings too. Let me show you this. Oh my god. The cube itself, like the big sandworm rings, the chains to make them are already done, right? I'm over halfway done with this project, and it's going to be 42. No, I'm not quite halfway done, right? I did the math earlier. I have like 23,000 rings to go, so I'm almost halfway, right? That's all of almost halfway right there in this container. So that portion's done. Just got to grind through the black and stainless here. I will get there. It's just going to take an extra month longer than I was planning for this project, but I don't have anything better to do anyway. So the project might as well be problematic and cumbersome, right? Builds character. Builds character. After finishing a project that took me like 20 some odd years, I feel like I can do anything. So the Finnegan's Wake inlay that I just finished was started back in like 2005. And I didn't know what I was doing back then. That led to a lot of like mental anguish trying to work on it. And I tried to freehand it instead of like making a design for it, which I should have. So I got stuck plenty of times just struggling. 2 rings forward, 3 rings back, but it's done. And now that it's done, hey, I can do anything, right? Except for freehand another inlay. I'll never do that again. Prep work is very important. Whether you're sanding a car, getting it ready for paint, which is awful. I don't like doing that at all. Or you're designing an inlay to make from chainmail. Get as much design prep work done as you can. Know how many rings you need, and don't be like me. That project should have been done 20 years ago. Borrow one of your 9 kids, yeah. Get some ring monkeys in here. That's what I need. My kid picked up some pliers for the first time not that long ago. I was a very proud dad. He just wanted to, like, hang out and kind of figure out what I was doing. So I gave him some pointers, and he didn't work on anything for too long, but he played with some rings and some extra rings that I had lying around. So I was like, right on, son. You're going to take over the family business one day. All right. That really should have, like, been over more, but this one too. I'm going to have to, like, take a little bit and adjust each of these strands, because they're all, like, I don't know, kind of twisted, out of place. I don't know how to phrase it. They don't sit quite right, which is kind of okay from an artistic perspective, right? Them being in exactly, or them having a perfect orientation is not, it's not necessary. Like, I would prefer it if they did, right? But they're all kind of just slightly off, and I think that that's okay. We'll find out. If it never sells, I'll blame it on the fact that they were not oriented correctly. I'm going to try and orient them as best I can, but so we'll see. You got 9 kids? That's nuts. Congratulations to you. I've got 1, and the neighbor kids come over a lot, and that's pretty chaotic. So we've got a couple kids 2 houses down, and some new neighbor kids that moved in across the street. The kids that moved in across the street, we've, like, never spoken to, so I don't know what's going on, but they come out and they play, you know, riding their scooters and their bikes and whatnot, and, like, they don't cross the street. And so I always wonder what TikTok means when they say comments filtered. Always makes you wonder if it's yours. If it comes, like, right after your comment and your comment isn't responded to, then it's yours, right? But might not have been you, you know? You have 5, your fiance had 4, so we have from 9. We have 9 from 8 to 27. Nice. Very cool. When I was growing up, I had some stepsisters for a few years. Oh, here's a fun story I don't think I've told anyone. Okay, so my parents split when I was 7. My mom left my dad, sold the 2 cars that they had, and took off while my dad was, like, out of town, okay? And so my dad comes back. He used to work for Texas Instruments, you know, the graphing calculators that you had to use in high school? Texas Instruments made those, okay? So he's working for them, going around doing computer repair in the 80s. My mom leaves him, and he comes home to, like, find his car's gone. So he's pissed. And she goes off, and I don't know what she does for a while. She's gone for a while. My dad, single for a couple years, just being a dad, couple of kids, gets married to a lady with 2 daughters, and to make a long story short, I won't bore you with all the details, but it was 4 of my siblings and myself, and then 2 of her daughters, so there were 6 of us. And, we would pack up every summer and drive to, like, Arches or Bryce or Zion or the Grand Canyon or the Petrified Forest, and we'd go to water parks and whatnot. And I never knew how my dad, like, afforded that stuff back then, because he never made a lot of money. But that's what we did. And then a few years after my dad and my stepmom got married, she went crazy, right? Like, went into a mental hospital for a long period of time, kind of crazy, right? Turns out she'd had a horrible abusive childhood. Her husband, before she met my dad, who had passed away, he was in, he was in a wash bay, right? And in the National Guard. So it was like sloped, bunch of sloped concrete down into this area where you wash the trucks, like the deuce and a halves and the 5 tons and the Humvees and all that stuff. And apparently, it was so wet that they couldn't get the deuce and a half or the 5 ton out of the wash bay, and it started sliding back, and it crushed him, right? So that was my stepmom's first husband. So she was traumatized by that. Marries my dad. Goes legit nuts because of childhood issues and relationship issues. A bunch of horrible stuff that I found out about later on when I was older. But then she gets out of the mental institution. She gets out on her own. She's living her life. Her and my dad split. And she ends up burning down 2 houses, hers and her neighbor's, for the insurance money. Right? So she went from a mental institution to being on her own for a little bit, and then went to jail for a few years. I don't know if she's out now, or if she is free somewhere. I haven't spoken to her in years. But between my mom and my stepmom, my dad can really pick them. You know what I mean? You had a TI 99 in the early 80s? Nice. Was a computer similar to a Commodore? Like a Commodore 64? I don't know what computers my dad worked on back then. This does not want to cooperate. Okay. It's like we had Commodore 64 in the school that I went to early on. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. But yeah. So, and my stepmom actually was married, was her first husband, the one who was crushed to death. He had some cousins, and they were very Catholic. And I think last time I had seen them, they were at 12. And then I think I heard that they had 2 more. So they had like 7 or 8 boys before they had their first girl. So they just kept going for a girl. And then they had a couple girls and then a couple more boys. And I think they had 14 last time I heard anything about them. That was the whole tangent, right? Magenta said he had 9 kids between him and his wife. And that made me think of the Katzenbergers, which made me think of my stepmom, which made me think of her burning down 2 houses. That makes sense, right? Alright, this is going to be really fun to try and get this closed. Oh, maybe it's not. Maybe it won't be too bad. If you're trying to close rings and you're weaving upside down and backwards, you're doing something wrong. Should not be that difficult. Come on. All right. So if anybody ever asks what's wrong with him, just tell him that my stepmom burned down 2 houses. There we go. That's better. And while it may not necessarily explain anything, might shed some light on why I am the way I am. I was actually like out of the house and long gone when that happened. But she wasn't, to put it this way, she wasn't great with kids. You know what I mean? Like, she had 2 of her own, but they eventually, I think both went into a mental institution, psychiatric facility for a bit. But last I heard about them, they were leading normal lives with families and kids, and so there is no room to weave this ring in here. When people ask that about me, your family tells them the what's not wrong list is shorter. Yeah, I think that's probably pretty standard. All right. Crap. There's like no room to weave this ring. So moving forward, I'm going to have to be really careful as I add rings to make sure that like I've got some of these Byzantine chains like ready to go, so I'm not struggling to weave them. Yeah, that's not going to work. Ferris wheel, how you doing? Just working on this cube. Telling old stories about how my stepmom was a very crazy person. Did I get it? I got it. Sick. And then getting ready for the next couple of weeks here. June is almost over. I had a good June. By the way, the only things you use for jump rings in your shop anymore? Hang on, where'd we go? I'm sure you're extremely comfortable with your current set, but have you tried curved pliers? I have. I have tried curved pliers. They might actually be really helpful in this situation if I get caught. Like I have some. Right? I don't understand how... I've seen people weave with these, and it's like... It's the same thing when people weave with both pliers forward. I don't process in my brain how they hold their pliers like this, and then people who hold their pliers like this, or people who work with curved pliers, you know, they lose their mind when they see I have one plier upside down and one right side up, right? So I didn't learn this way. This technique I just developed over time, and it was a long time between when I first started making chainmail and when I stumbled across the internet chainmail community. Yes, Ferris wheel, I am working on a cube. So that's the bottom layer. And we got all the horizontal rings with their black and stainless steel on them. Now we're adding it to the vertical rings. And it's going to take 48 rings to put 4 strands of Byzantine on all of the vertical rings. But it should look good by the time it's done. What have I done here? So where are we? The only thing is for jump rings, you're a bit less of a curve than those. PM me, I'll get a picture of you. Alright, sounds good. This looks really cool. I hope it's really cool. I hope that someone finds it really cool and then pays me a lot of money for it. Someday. My goal is to have 10 or 15 of these done and like on display in a gallery at some point, right? That's my goal. We'll see if I get there. But I've already got like $1,000 in materials for this. Like $300 for the black and stainless and $600 or $700 for the regular stainless. And so I don't know if I'm going to be able to get to 10 or 15. It's like $10,000 or $15,000. You know what I mean? Did I make my necklace? Yes, I did. Update on the Progressive Web app. Go to the link tree in my bio and click on the Mailworks PWA at the top. It looks terrible on the computer, right? And it's still kind of wonky on the phone because I need to sit down and... I want to redo all the icons to make them simpler so that if I have to redo the icons, it doesn't take me a month. All right, Ferris, we'll have a good night. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. Yeah, so here. That's my square wire full Persian necklace. John, I'm happy you learned the mail the way you did versus through online group. Was more personal and skill development than chasing the next cool weave. I mean, there were no resources available when I first got started. My uncle showed me, like, that it could be done, right? And I had to figure out everything else after that. Did you want the necklaces colored, Bree? Is that what we're talking about? Where am I working here? I've got 2 on here. Okay. There are anodized aluminum rings that you can make jewelry with, and you can anodize titanium and stuff. I'm much more comfortable, like, I like to use anodized aluminum for static pieces, okay, because anodization, it does not last for forever. So if you buy something from me, I want it to stay that color for a long time, right? And anodized aluminum fades with UV light, and it fades with, you know, touching your skin, and like, it's not a instant process, but it can happen, you know, before you know it, honestly. So I like to stick to like stainless steel, titanium, gold, silver, right? But with titanium, you can anodize that at home. So if I sell an anodized titanium necklace and the color fades, it's like, yeah, just send it back and we'll make you a necklace of a different color. Sarah, how you doing? Right? So, but there are plenty of people that make jewelry with anodized aluminum, and it does last a good long time, unless you have like really acidic skin. I don't know. But ideally, I want to get a coiling and cutting set up so that these projects don't take me $1,000 in material cost, right? And so that I can put them together. I want to use a lot of titanium in the future. That would be awesome. So that I can just anodize large chainmail sculptures. That would be ideal. I think it would be ideal. The issue is, I might get through 10 sculptures, put them on display in a gallery, and guess what? Nothing. You know? I don't think that's going to happen. Pup, how you doing? You wouldn't want aluminum for anything but a showpiece. It's a fairly soft metal. Well, and like static pieces like chainmail inlays are perfect for anodized aluminum. It's just going to hang on a wall somewhere. Right? Pup, okay. I am making a cube like this. Okay, this is a Japanese 4-in-1 jelly cube. And they're fun to make. They're fun to play with, right? And I'm using that same weave for this cube, right? Every ring should have 4 rings in it, except for the rings on the edges. Okay? So this will essentially, ideally, go on display in someone's home or in a business or something. As a piece of art, as opposed to like chainmail jewelry or a shirt or, you know. Yeah. That is awesome. Thank you. Hi from over here. Hello from over there. Do keep in mind a large piece like your cube here would be insane on a setup to power the anodizing of it in one shot versus doing each of how many rings first before weaving. Sounds fun, like riveting rings. Yeah. Okay, so the larger the piece, the harder it is to anodize and the more power it's going to take is what John's saying over here, right? So, I could make one large ring, one of these, anodize that, put it together, right? That is how I would have to build those things, which is fine. It's going to be time consuming, but it's all time consuming, okay? At the end of the day, I just want really cool chainmail sculptures, right? And a lot of this stuff I 100% intend on making out of stainless steel. Because stainless steel is very strong metal. Takes a lot to corrode it. And it's, you know, you can take any jewelry piece made from stainless steel and, you know, wash it and you're good to go. As opposed to, you know, silver that tarnishes and like brass or bronze that tarnish like crazy. Wow, I lost that ring. Don't do that. So there's pluses and minuses to each different material, right? Like, I'm not particularly fond of brass and bronze, but I had these rings and I was using them up. And I kind of made a little yellow and coppery pattern on this monkey fist I made, right? But the bronze and the brass are going to tarnish fairly quickly. The more handling, the more it'll tarnish for sure, right? Like I said earlier, anodized aluminum fades with UV light. You know, bright aluminum leaves marks on your skin, turns your skin gray. Some metals turn your skin green. How long I've been working on this? Estimated in hours. So there's okay. What is 19,000 divided by 200? Right? Whatever that number is approximately how many hours I've been working on this, roughly, give or take. Probably add a third of that time to it. So 19,000 divided by 200, and then whatever, add a third of whatever that number is to the total. Just because I have to adjust all of these black and stainless rings because they're out of round. And that takes a ton of time. Yeah, I think it's about a third of the time. Where's my calculator? Calculator. 19 divided by 200. Okay, times 0.3 plus 90. I'm going to go with 123 and a half hours so far. Right? Roughly. All right. There's just no room to weave these rings in here. I mean, I just finished up an inlay that was very problematic, and it ended up taking me about well over 400 hours. Right? A lot of that was my fault because I started out 19 years ago not knowing what I was doing. So that's a lot. The only ask is chainmail is tedious and this is insanely intricate. Do I have a price per ring that you calculate your labor at? No. Like, I go by the hour, right? If I'm making a bracelet, it's going to be the simple formula of materials times 2 plus a $25 hourly rate. So as for this, right, since it's an art piece, it will be priced much, I don't know about much higher than normal. I don't know how long it's going to take me to make, but let me try. Oh, come on. Keep dropping this ring. So, whenever people ask me how much do they want for this cube, right? And if I had the row, like I've got this row right here to finish, right? Can't see it on this computer. Right there. I've got to finish these couple of rows on each side, right? I tell them, like, I'm not going to part with this for anything less than $5,000, okay? It's not for sale, but there's 22,000 rings in that. So that's like 100 hours worth of work plus. And the reason I wouldn't part for it for less than $5,000 is because it takes forever to make. There's no one who's going to have one of those for sale almost ever. And so it's a very unique item. It's an art piece. It's a fidget toy. It's, you know, and people keep saying, oh, you'll never get your money's worth on that. And it's like, well, for starters, I'm not trying to, but also pricing is not a function to a customer of some secret formula like material cost times 2 plus your hourly rate, right? Pricing when it comes to a customer purchasing something is, am I willing to spend that amount of money to purchase that thing, right? That's it. So, and there's all kinds of things that affect that, like your market, the season. Like maybe you put 200-300 hours into a piece, and it turns out to be crap, and no one wants to buy it. Okay? At the end, there's a lot of stuff that is produced that the price of it gets reduced over time because no one's willing to pay the price of that item. I bought a bag once that started out, it was like a $30 bag. And no one had bought it, and they had marked the price down to like $4. I bought a bag for $4, which was great because I only made $5 an hour back then. That's crazy. You couldn't even get me to drive to work for $5 an hour right now. Not that I have a job or anything, but... So, yeah, I know some people are like, oh, if you charge 7 cents a ring or 10 cents a ring, you'll get your money's worth. But, like, I won't even pick up my pliers for less than 20 bucks, you know? Excuse me. And that's not... because I'm like, oh, I'm the best chainmail artist out there. I'm good to go. It's like, no, I have enough experience to require that before I pick up a project on anything. $2 a ring? Yeah, $2 a ring. Come on. There you go. All right. Hope, how you doing? It's looking good, thank you. It's coming along. We're getting somewhere with it. We are certainly getting somewhere with it. Oh, crap. Yeah, and especially moving forward as rings become more precise and your work gets better over time. You know, the value of your work is going to go up, and you're going to charge more for what you make. And calling it a night. Drove 3 hours round trip today, and your wrist is hurting, and you're exhausted. Magenta, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate you being here. You have a wonderful evening. Feel better. Get some rest. Drive safe. I went to the Dollar General to grab some dog food, so I haven't gone grocery shopping. Because I have food, and we need to eat it, but we're out of, like, we got 1/2 gallon of milk left. We're out of eggs. There's, like, 2 cheese sticks. You know? Don't do that. And then we need dog food as well, right? So I need to go to the grocery store, but we're going to be gone all day tomorrow at graduation party. So I will not be here tomorrow night. My niece and nephew graduated college. And I'm going to go and drink with their dad. And yeah. So that's what I'll be doing tomorrow. Okay? I'll be too inebriated to stream. That's what I'm trying to tell you. That is going to be a tight fit. Where was I going with that? Niece and nephew graduating, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, something. I was saying something, but that's fine. I like the way this is coming along. It's not going to have a lot of movement. right? I was thinking maybe it'll move slightly like a jelly cube. I don't know if that's going to be the case. This is adding these, the black and stainless is tightening it up pretty good here. And that's good. That's good because it is it's going to be very heavy, so I don't necessarily want people picking it up and moving it around, but also it'll hold its position, right? What am I stuck on here? Come on. Which is, I think, holding its position is more important than it moving like a jelly cube. It is a structural piece. It is difficult to get chainmail to be solid. Puzzle piece of death. Unable to verify. Try again. No, I got it right in the thing. All right. Where am I working here? Oh, that is horribly twisted. Am I going to be able to get in there? Gotta untwist this thing without ripping it apart. Sweet. Oh, come on. I'm getting better at this. Weaving at that angle there. Oh. Okay, that's one more for this one. What time is it? 9:23? I guess I did get started a little early. So... what do you guys think? Like, adding the black and stainless is starting to make it look pretty cool, right? Like, there's like 3 right there. 2, 1 here, 1 down here, and then 1 right there. And it really kind of, like, makes that black pop out. Real nice. I think it's going to be good. Okay, come on. Oh, this thing. Alright, so I was talking earlier about my stepmom and her burning down 2 houses and going to jail and all that fun stuff. But I mentioned that we would go on these vacations to all the national parks, right? Like Yellowstone and I don't think I ever went to Yosemite. Is Yosemite in California? I went to Disneyland in California when I was a kid growing up. But... so that was a cool trip. But if you ever get a chance to go out and see arches, super cool. Bryce and Zion are like right nearby in Utah. Just if you ever get a chance to go to Moab, Utah, and go to all the national parks that are right around there, one of them is Mesa Verde National Park, right? You get to go and watch these, or go and hike down these cliff dwellings where the Native Americans lived on the side of these cliffs. You can go see all their housing and everything. Super cool, right? I didn't appreciate it because I was like 9. I was like, oh, it's another stupid rock. Thanks for bringing us here, Dad. You know? But looking back now, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. How could I not think that that's the coolest thing ever? So, and it's actually really simple. It's because I was 9 at the time and didn't have an appreciation for it. But at some point, I hope to drag my kids around, well, and go see all these places. So we got some stuff here in Wisconsin we should make a day trip for. We'll get there. Man, this is going to be... It's like... There's just no room to weave. Come on. So I went to the Grand Canyon. That's very cool. But it's not the end-all be-all of outdoor things to look at. Right? There's a... What are they called? Something caverns. Something caverns. They're caves. You go down and take a look at caves. Those are cool. Petrified forest. Very cool. Just a lot of really unique stuff in our national parks. And if you ever get the chance to go, you should definitely do it. Even if you're not an outdoorsy person, you know? Like, I used to be... I used to like hiking and camping and all that fun stuff, you know, being outside. And then I joined the military, and that just crushed my soul and my desire to do any of that ever again, right? But now I have a kid, and I'm like, okay, well, he needs to go camping at some point. Teach him how to build a fire or whatever. So, like, we're going to go. Thank you for sharing the live. I appreciate that. And I have a tent. What I don't have is sleeping bags or much else in ways of camping equipment. Nor do I know where to go. Like, growing up in Idaho, I was very lucky. Okay? And I didn't realize this. Don't move to Idaho. Idaho's terrible. However, there are a lot of natural hot springs. And so my family would go, and we'd go to the hot springs like every other weekend during the winter. You want to hit New York and go to Herkimer Mines for gemstones with the kids and make jewelry with? Nice. That'd be awesome. Dig the gem out of the ground and then turn it into jewelry. Yeah, who was I watching? I forget who it was. Someone had a live stream going on, and they were digging up opals in eastern Oregon. Opals or agates? I think it was agates, now that I think about it. Don't ask me to remember anything ever. I have a terrible memory and a head injury from Iraq that does not help. I have heard of Herkimer Mine before. It didn't mean anything. When you say the name Herkimer Mine, it doesn't mean anything. When I hear Herkimer, I think of Mystery Men and like the Herkimer Battle Bus, whatever it's called. And if you've never seen Mystery Men, it's got Ben Stiller, Paul Rubin, William H. Macy, Captain Barbossa from Pirates of the Caribbean. What is his name? It is, I forget. Dang it. Anyway, it's got a bunch of like famous people in it, and they all play superheroes and villains, and it's pretty cool. It's a funny movie. There's a Herkimer battle cruiser or something like that. So, and I've heard of Herkimer Mines before, but I didn't know anything about it. That was another thing I went to as a kid. I went to a giant copper mine, right? One of those mines that's so big that it creates its own weather patterns. You know, with the trucks that have the wheels that are bigger than my house. That was cool. I bought a piece of copper ore from there. But when I left my home and my family, I was no more than a boy. When I joined the Army, moving around the country, I ended up getting rid of a lot of stuff, and I think that it ended up, I think my whole rock collection ended up getting thrown away. So I no longer have a piece of copper ore from the mine that I visited as a small child. I'm sure I could order one online. Oh, dang it. They're one of the neat, lesser-known diamond types you can mine in the U.S. Right on. Oh, Herkimer diamonds. Yeah, I've heard of those. Right? That's what you're talking about? All my rocks were just cool rocks that I found. I didn't have anything cool in my collection. In my collection of rocks. I had a marble collection too. I had a Lego collection, and like it was all just crap that I collected as a kid. None of it was like worth anything except the Legos. And that all got lost, most of it. Come on. Go in your place. There we go. Correct, they form with facets like a neat crystal versus normal diamonds. Need to be ground and faceted, so that is the appeal. Mostly is like quartz, but 2 steps harder on the Mohs scale. That's cool. There we go. Oh, thank you for the hearts. How you doing, Amber? Oh, wow. That was like opened completely wrong. You're cuddling with your 6-year-old? Clone 3? Nice. Yeah. There's no way I could ever deny that my son is mine. He has my exact eye color, and he looks just like me. Right? Sometimes as he's like growing, you know, kids kind of shift in how they look, and he looks like his mom for a little bit. But for the most part, he's looked like me. Which my wife thinks is awesome. He likes the giant cube I'm working on? Right on. I like it too. I wish that I had found a better way to do this or didn't have to add these black and stainless rings, but I like how it's coming out so far. Like it's doing kind of what I was hoping it would do. Oh, crap. Almost did not get that ring back. Alrighty. I actually just pulled a picture off the internet of, in my Facebook memories. It was, I had a beard at the time, and it's a picture of my kid, and just like the bottom 2 inches of my beard on top of his head, so it looks like he has hair as a baby. It was really funny. All three of your kids are your clones? I believe I may have seen a video of you with 2 of them at least. And I didn't know who was who, but... Or if it was one of those videos where... You know, it's like just one person wearing 3 different outfits. Country? Amari, how you doing? What country are we in? We don't listen to country music. Hi, Mom. Yes, clone 1 and clone 2 with yourself? You got family piercings? Oh, right on. Right on. Speaking of piercings, right? So, I've got my ears pierced on either side twice, right? Had it since I was young. I want to go and get a 3rd piercing. Right? I need to remember to do that, because I got a piercing shop right around the corner. Piercing and tattoo. All in one stop shop. And I want to get my logo tattooed on me. Just because I may never succeed in business. Right? I may never like be a multi-millionaire person, but the journey of making chainmail and running my own store, coming up with designs for my store and everything, like it's been a huge part of my life for the last 5 years. 5? 6? Something like that. So, I want to go get my logo tattooed on me. And it's more personal than my time. I don't have any military tattoos. Okay? I thought about it when I was in. But chainmail is something I've been doing since I was 14. I've been out longer than I was ever in the military. I did 7 years and 2 tours, and I got stuck in a facility that was very overtly political, and I just thought that was dumb. So I got out and went to college. And so that was only like 7 years of my life, whereas chainmail has been with me for 28 years now. Right? And my logo is a design I did, and a friend, my logo is a chainmail design I did, and a friend drew it up for me. So I want to go get it tattooed on me at some point. Tattoos and piercings. And then I want to get a lot of chainmail tattoos tattooed all over me, because I can. Right? So I'm going to. The issue is, and me and John have discussed this before, right, is that getting a tattoo artist who really like understands what chainmail is and how the rings go in and out of each other, and like, got to be careful. You can remind me, thanks. It's your logo and that's your own child in its own way. Yeah, it's my website, mailworks.com. Making chainmail has taken up, more hours of my life than I care to admit, but it's the thing I am ultimately most passionate about, right? Except for my son. I do love my son more than I love chainmail. Which is probably a good thing. Right? You're supposed to love your kids, right? At least that's what they tell me. All right. Oh, thank you for the gifts. I appreciate it. You saw Violet. So, what I would like to do with my ears, I want to gauge them out until they are all 3 piercings, like the smallest gauge you can get, with a hole through it, right? Where you put a tube in your ear and it's hollow, right? So that's the first step. So 3 big holes in my ear, right? Then I'm going to take a chainmail chain and weave it through and connect it and leave it in there. And it's going to look a little fancy, right? But also, it's like, I wear my necklaces all the time. I wear my bracelets all the time. I'm not wearing them right now because I forgot to put them on before the stream, but a silicone spacer. I don't know if that's what they're called. I have some metal ones. Some surgical steel ones that I'm going to put in the first piercing, but eventually. Or what I could do is get 3 spacers, right? 3 hollow holes in my head, and then put 1 chain through each and just have like 2 or 3 chains dangling from each piercing. I think that would be cool too. Also, really difficult to put in. I'm going to be like in the mirror with my pliers up right by my ear. I'll probably stab myself in the face on accident a dozen times. All right. This is getting cool. All right, where are we at? Are we done? Are we out? Is that the last one? Better keep track of 1, 2. Okay, I got 2 more right here. Got a long way to go, man. What time is it? 9:44. All right, that's good enough, right? I'm out of strands of Byzantine. Okay, so I want you to look at this. For anyone watching on Twitch, YouTube, X, or Facebook, right? See how where the black rings are, it separates them out from the stainless steel. Pretty good, I think. Right? And I'll show you guys over on TikTok. Right? Like, from far away, are the black rings breaking up all the stainless steel, all the regular stainless steel. Right? You can kind of see that. So it's not one mass of stainless steel. That was a problem I ran into working on some of the other sculptures that I've worked on. They were all, like, they started out as stainless steel. And then I added some different color rings. And it created that, I don't know what to call it. It's not like negative space, but it broke everything up so that you could see the pattern. Because otherwise it just it looked like a big blob. Right? So I think it's working. I think it's going to be worth it in the end. At least I hope. And then I hope make a bunch of money off it one day. And if not, then I will just be poor for forever. And I'll have really cool chainmail. Right? Alright, so now that we're done adding all of those, this is what I do during the day. Right? I take these rings. These are the black and stainless that are out of round. It gives a depth and texture to the sculpture. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Okay, and then I make sure that the closure is smooth after adjusting each individual one so that there's no snags. You want all your closures to be as smooth as possible, especially if you're making jewelry, right? But I got to make sure that it's smooth on this sculpture. I don't want someone to pick up the sculpture and then be like, oh, it's not, it's all sharp and gross and I don't like it, you know? I want people to pick it up and marvel over how seamless it is. So, I've got, how many did I put in place? 4, 6, 10, I think. I put 10 strands on the horizontal rings of the first layer here. I've got 38 to go. So each one is 70 rings. So whatever 38 times 70 is how many rings I got to go until I just finish the first layer, right? So it's nuts, but it is what it is. I've got the supplies. I just have to take the time to sit down and work through it, and it's no more of a grind than that Finnegan's Wake inlay that took me 20 years, right? It's no more of a grind than a shirt. It's a pain in the butt to have to sit here and close every ring, right? But it's something I can do. So it'll be fun. And then after that, I've got like other cool stuff to do. Aside from the sculptural projects that I want to do, I've still got the rest of the motorcycle project to work on. Like, I got the saddlebags done earlier this year, and I still need to do the tank bib and the toolkit. So I'm going to wait till riding season's over before I work on those. Hopefully this winter. And then there's plenty of other stuff laying around that either needs to be updated, upgraded, completed, or added onto. Changed in some way. Some projects need more supplies. Some projects need... I have not gone for a ride yet. I've not had time, and then the weather has not been... like it'll either be super hot or rainy. So next week probably go out for a couple hours. But yeah, we've got belts and guitar straps to make, and I think if I go to the Renaissance Festival this year, I might go search for a spear there. Right? Because I know that we have a shop here at Bristol that makes functional weapons. The fit and finish on some of them was not great. And then others were perfectly fine, right? So I might go check them out because I want functional weapons, right? I don't understand the point of a decorative weapon. no shade to anyone who buys them. It's just not something I would do. It's like, just buy the... If you need a sword, buy a sword, you know? Don't buy a sword that's going to fall apart on you. Because I guarantee you, the first little kid that gets a hold of that sword is going to swing it around and hit something with it, and then your sword is broken. John Daniel Fallensby, third. I live in... Okay, where are we at? Correct, they formed... No. How you doing, Patience? You don't live too far from Herkimer Mine? And you love incorporating it into your chainmail. That's awesome. Yes, Renaissance Festivals... Renaissance Festival weapons are bomb. I know words and can read. Yeah, like, I've got some people to go visit at Bristol, like Rogue Mail on Facebook, Charity. She runs Rogue Mail, and then on TikTok, Captain Fuzzy Bear works at Rogue Mail too. They're hard, yeah. And so I've got those two people to see, and then I know some other people in the area who go and hang out at the Renaissance Festival. And then my son likes to go. It's fun. He and I like to go on the rides and shop around a bit. But Walmart, this is an interesting thing I learned. Walmart sells boar spears. Now, I think it's a third party that sells through the Amazon, through the Walmart marketplace. You're good? Been mining the area for 25 years. You found some nice pieces. That's cool. So, I have every reason to go. Except that Bristol is during the summer, and it's... it can get really hot. So if you don't go on the right day, when the weather is cooperating with you, it can be a really bad time. But, you know, that's anything. The issue is that normal stuff like, you know, the weekend farmer's market, when you go to that, you're not in full costume. You know? Your best one is in November? What is the festival, if you don't mind me asking? Don't dox yourself, just, you know. Yeah, a Walmart affiliate style thing where they have a boar sale, a boar spear on sale, or for sale. I'm sure it's the same boar spear as you see on other Amazon and eBay and Etsy and... But a spear or a really cool halberd to hold up the Finnegan's Wake inlay, one of the last pieces I need, so. That and some Celtic themed wall hooks, and then that 20-year project will come to an end. This one is, the one I'm working on right here, should only take me 2 more months at the most. I think I can get it done in 6 weeks, because while I have to close every single ring beforehand and adjust it to get everything fit, the weaving Byzantine, when all the rings are closed, gets really quick. So, like, I made 23-inch chains of Byzantine today. So that's like 60 inches. It's almost 3 of the lengths of this mat right here, right? For what I've put on here so far. I did that all today. It was super quick. So it may not take me 6 weeks, but it is going to take me some time just to get all these rings correct. And this one, I know what I'm doing for the most part, as opposed to trying to fidget around with ring placement on the Finnegan's Wake inlay like an idiot. Don't be like me, kids. I mean, do make chainmail, but don't make bad decisions like not doing your prep work for a project that you don't have the skill for. It's like I love a person who's you know, jump first, find a place to land later. I do. I'm that kind of person, right? But if you're going to do a chainmail inlay, know where you're going to land. I promise. Very cool. Traded your coworker some chainmail for some of your first Herkimer, and it made his wife jewelry, and your wife jewelry for Mother's Day. Right on, dude. All right. Alrighty. So this is my exciting life right now as I close all of these rings one by one. Put the website in here in the Discord so you can check it out. Sweet. I love me a good Renaissance festival. So, alright, for anyone watching who's interested in learning how to make chainmail, you're like, holy cow, wow, that's amazing. I didn't know you could make chainmail at home. I didn't know you could make stuff like this with chainmail. I would like to make it for the rest of my life. If you're having any of those feelings right now, my name's Sean. I run mailworks.com, and I design and sell chainmail-themed apparel and accessories. And they are print products. In addition to that, I also make chainmail. And in addition to that, I also have the Mailworks app, which is available in the link tree in my bio over on TikTok. And, oh, you know what? I need to put that on my website as well. The Progressive web app is not up on my website. It is up in my link tree, though. You can go there and access the app just via the link in the link tree, right? And then there is a Discord in there that if you're wanting to learn how to make chainmail, you can join and ask questions and post what you're working on. And you can see work that other people do and all kinds of, you know, fun stuff. Get to know people that make chainmail. If you want to help me out also, there is a the coffee donation platform, ko.fi, coffee. Any donation that you make goes to funding projects like this. Like I mentioned earlier, I've got about $1,000 into this project. And I won't get paid for this project for quite a while, right? So if you're interested in supporting me doing this, you can. The coffee is up and available. It reads like Ko-Fi. That's why I keep saying that. So if you want to support me, you can donate there. Or you can go to mailworks.com and get some awesome chainmail themed apparel or accessories. And there's more coming soon. We're getting there. More cool stuff all the time. I did get a bunch of stuff on the computer done the other day. And so we're inching towards getting more designs done soon. For t-shirts and for clothing and all that fun stuff. Then, oh yeah, if you do download the Mailworks app, you can only download it from Google right now. Like I said, for everyone else, you can download it through, or you can access it through the Progressive web app in the link tree in my bio. And if you do that, it's a list of resources, kind of sectioned off where each one would be. There's a tool recommendation section. There's a where to find tutorials, where to find suppliers, right? Where to find where other chainmail artists hang out online at. It's all the resources I would have wanted when I started this 28 years ago. And we're adding more resources and trying to make it better and nicer and cooler, and it's free to use, you know. You don't have to join the Discord. But I put it together because in all of the chainmail groups, people post, oh, hey, where can I find this? Where can I find that? And I just try to put it all in one place so people can have easier access to it when starting out or as veteran chainmail artists. So that is what that's for. So, all right. Got a small selection of rings here that are closed and ready to be woven into Byzantine. Lots of rings to keep closing. But it is 10 o'clock. It's past my bedtime. And I've got a bunch of stuff to do before I go to bed. I've got food to put away, mostly, and pick my nose. So, if you're interested in learning how to make chainmail, download the Mailworks app or access it through the Progressive Web app. We'll get the Apple app back up again at some point. And then, join the Discord and come ask questions. And we got a bunch of experienced people, a bunch of inexperienced people, all there to be helpful and learn. And, other than that, please follow me on all my social media platforms. It would be greatly appreciated as I'm trying to grow them all at the same time. I will not be here tomorrow night. Tomorrow night I'm going to my niece and nephew's graduation party. And then, so I will be back probably Sunday. Until then, you all have a wonderful evening. Thanks for being here. I do appreciate you. You make it all worthwhile when other people want to come and hang out with me. And makes me feel good about what I do. So, thank you. You all have a wonderful evening. I will talk to you all later. Come on, where's my button? There we go.